Check out this clip from the latest pre-patch podcast.
Continuing on with the Sony train, right? So if you live under a rock, then you may not know, but the PlayStation 5 Pro has been in hot contention rumor mills for a while, and it's not, and we've not heard a peep from Sony at all until the 7th. No, I'm sorry, until it launches on November 7th. It was the 9th? I think the 9th is when the 10th is when they announced this. They come out and they finally talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro. By the way, this comes to us from Twisted Voxel. So motherfuckers, bro. So PlayStation,
it's an interesting device.
Interesting. It's a fucking kick to the nuts, dude. This is bullshit. It's
an interesting device.
This is fucking garbage wrapped in a $700 price tag that literally they are taking a system and not even a half stepping it, in my opinion. Like, this is like a maybe.
I mean, pro consoles, like, throughout all of PlayStation's generations, haven't been massive leaps forward.
I'm not saying they got to be next gen, but for fucking $700 goddamn dollars, it should be more than what I'm getting, and it also shouldn't remove a big piece of
a disk drive,
piece of it,
and a fucking stand
for it, and a plastic stand.
Well, I mean, the stand's completely optional, but the disk drive hurts. The fact that it's been relegated to accessory hardware is
that's what I was about to say. This is like, I don't think this is the first time it's happened, but this feels like a hardware microtransaction to me. Like, they're like, hey,
it's not the first
we
time
know that you had it. It's not. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that fucking
Slim.
Xbox and a couple of other ones in the past have had it. But
Xbox,
the PlayStation 5 Slim had the disk drive as an optional thing. Yeah.
This just feels weird to me, though, man. I'm like,
now,
you're gonna charge me $700 for less of a fucking product than if I just went out and bought the main one. Like, yeah, it's gonna have a more powerful fucking GPU and whatever the SSD bullshit is, right? You're gonna have more storage.
It's got a more powerful GPU, and they're estimating it to be about 40% more powerful than what's the GPU that's in the current PS5. You're getting a 2 terabyte SSD that's supposedly going to have faster load times. You're getting it's going to have AI rendering technology for upscaling, and apparently the PS5 Pro is also going to have tech in it that is kind of similar to how emulation tech will allow you to up-res like old games. Like, you can play like GameCube games at like 1080p or 4K and like shit like that. It's going to have similar technology in it to allow you to play PS4 and PS5 games that weren't natively at those higher resolutions, like 1440p or 4K at those resolutions. So, supposedly, they're in it's select games. They said that there's like there's a number that they gave, and I can't remember what it was.
Like
so it's not.
Yeah, 1,800 games. That
since it's still a select game, it's not going to stop them from making just next gen title, like next gen.
Correct. Yeah, we're still going to get our Last of Us PS5 Pro version. Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
So here's the kicker, right? So we knocked, Bill specifically, I have joined the train as well. Has always knocked the Xbox Series S, right? Because it's
held back the Xbox generation and the third party.
Yeah, so it is the shit stain of the game development world when it comes to consoles. And has put an anchor around a lot of game development next when they're developing for both. Here's my thing. Not saying that the PlayStation 5 is now going to become that anchor, but what it does do is basically going, hey, you have to use and develop for the PlayStation 5 Pro to get these features out of it, which
not necessarily.
Well,
and I think that's where that AI upscaling tech has it, where developers can develop for the current gen, like the standard PS5, Xbox Series X, that kind of stuff. And then Sony on a software front is going to allow it to be upscaled via
so
the hardware.
this is where I call bullshit on it, because DLSS
It's-
and their shit
yeah.
has been in on computers forever, and they still haven't gotten that crap to work. Like, it
Yeah.
still is a buggy piece of shit. A lot of times it's worse, and most times if you have a good enough rig, you just fucking use it with no upscaling at all, because it actually makes your gameplay laggier. It doesn't look as good.
Rainier,
It's
yeah.
really
Yeah.
not that great, right? So
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
agree with you there. The only thing that I can think of is the more stable like hardware inside being a differentiator and making this more able to function. My biggest concern is the lack of them saying anything about a CPU upgrade.
Well, it's I mean, on top of all of this, right? You're now talking about $700, which let's break this down, right? Which I have the list here, which you guys know I love my list. So here's the key features of the fucking Pro, right? So upgraded GPU. All right, you can't natively do that anyway, whatever. Is it going to really get used? Probably, honest to God, not, right? Advanced ray tracing. Sure, maybe they put in ray tracing. The stuff that they put in on PCs allows you to turn the ray tracing on. They can put it into the game.
There's
turn it off.
already ray tracing, but I think it's such a massive performance hit that I know any game that has ray tracing enabled that I've played, I turn that shit off because it
Most
a
people turn it
frame.
off, period, anyway.
Yeah, it's a
I do
frame
that on
eater.
PC as well.
It
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. So that becomes negligible. We just talked about the AI upscaling, right? Let's talk
Right.
about the fucking SSD. You can go right. The thing about PlayStations and about the current gen consoles is they have already touted that you can take those fuckers apart and put in an SSD. Corsair sells a goddamn SSD that you can throw in there that
Or
literally,
even an external SSD.
yeah, or an external. They run faster, they load faster, and it's not going to cost you fucking an additional $500 or $200 or $300 depending on the system that you got, right? The VRR 8K gaming. I am so sick and tired of hearing about variable refresh rate and 8K upscaling bullshit. None of it is actually fucking factually true. Like, you have to go in and do so much adjusting. Like, yeah, you could turn on 8K gaming, but one, the developer has to dev for it, and two, if it actually you turn it on, you are sacrificing so much GPU power to run it that it plays like dog shit. You might as well be playing at 15 frames a second or 30 frames. And all these people are going to come out and be like, well, 30 frames a second is fucking absolutely completely fine. Go play some of your modern shooters or modern games that require fast reaction time and let me know if 30 frames actually works for you, because I promise you it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It
no.
absolutely doesn't. Unless you're the Dark Souls people that really love 30 frames, and when they move to 60 frames, it caused iframe problems
No.
and some hit detect. Like that,
30,
yeah,
30 frames gives me motion sickness,
Like,
gives me headaches.
doesn't work. So then
And
you
8K gaming is a scam.
yeah, and then you tack on top of all of that, oh, we're now not going to give you a fucking disk drive. Like, you don't
Yeah.
even get the choice of a disk drive. You're not
You,
getting
you get
one.
the you get the
You have a
choice.
choice.
It's just,
You gotta
it's
pay
just
for it.
$80,
Yeah.
$80 on top of it.
But
Yeah.
comparative to the last one, there was a Slim that had none, and then there was an actual, the Full that had
Yeah,
one,
the
right?
Full that had one,
This
yeah.
is just the Pro that has none with the option to buy an
Which the-
add-on.
Oh, you could buy one for the Slim too. It's
Slim-
the same disk drive.
No, I know. What I'm saying is you had the option of a full PS5.
I also like how they advertise it in vertical mode and then have it in little letters, vertical stand sold separately.
Oh,
underneath.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Here's what
They
I
did that
love.
the last time too. They did the same thing.
After taxes, you're paying $250 per fucking stripe right here. I just want to point that out. They added stripes, guys. The $700, they gave you 3 stripes instead of the one. Just saying.
Dude, oh,
You,
just
know
like
the only
today,
reason you know
I
the only
should've
reason
put
they did that,
slits.
right?
The
The
what?
only reason they did that is so that you can't use PS5 like custom plates on the Pro.
Oh, it doesn't
Really?
surprise me. It's not.
I would not put it
Wow.
past them.
I-
They're gonna say it's for airflow, but I guarantee it's that you can't use your custom plates on the Pro.
I was watching a meme the other day of a dude that was like, I don't need to pay fucking $200 extra, and then he took out some fucking electrical tape and just put 2 electrical tapes on it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the crazy thing. People are saying that the game is going to. Nope, that is not the one I was looking for. Well, we can talk about this, but the game that the PS5 Pro is going to sell at the same level of PS4 Pro. I think that is a wild fucking
I
statement.
don't.
Dude, the
don't,
PS4
yeah.
Pro launched at $399. Like,
So don't know if you've seen, but after the PS5 Pro announcement, PlayStation Direct sold out of disk drives. So if that's
Oh.
any clue
Yeah.
that there is
Really?
a
Okay.
market that is preparing for when the PS5 Pro
Or-
comes out.
Let me conspiracy theory this shit, right? Or they are either A, they actually marked them as not available, right? So Sony actually said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna drive hype, and or drive hype, or whatever you want to say, and they're gonna
Man, Sin's bringing that fucking tinfoil hat tonight,
they're
man.
going."
Yeah,
But
that's
here's what I actually think is
that's
happening. I think the
extreme.
more realistic thing is that people are actually buying the shit out of them to scalp
To
the
scalp
fuck
them,
out of
yeah.
them.
To
When
scalp
people,
it.
yeah,
maybe.
I think
Yeah,
that's the more realistic approach. Is that people are going
Let's-
to sell the shit out of those things whenever people buy these.
Let's
Because
see.
they sold out.
How much did the PlayStation 4 originally cost?
The PlayStation 4 or
original
PlayStation 4
PlayStation
Pro.
4?
Like the original PlayStation 4, not the Pro, but the original PlayStation 4. Was it 200?
No,
No,
it was 400. I'm pretty sure 399.
Was it 400?
launch, yeah.
Hmm.
The
So the
PS
PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro were the same price
the-
when they released.
Yes. So
Yeah,
That's
whenever
crazy.
the
Yeah.
Pro launched, it launched with the standard PS4 getting a price
That's
cut.
crazy, bro.
Yes.
That's crazy.
this
now,
one,
now, if you want to get really crazy, the PS3 was where you had the last like wild price jumps. The PS3 I think launched at $600, and then
Now-
the Pro was I think it was also $600.
Now, I do remember reading that they in reply to people being like, "Hey, this is way too expensive," they then went out and were like, "Well, we'll drop the price of refurbished PlayStation 5s, the original or PlayStation 4s or 5, yeah, 5. We'll drop the price of the refurbished ones down to like $399 or something."
Yeah.
And so this was an interesting list. There's some things wrong with it though too, but Jeff Keighley did tweet out a list of the
Of course
inflation
he did.
inflation
Of course
adjusted
Keighley did.
prices. Of course he did, I know. And what's wrong with this is, so it's in our chat right here, but so they're going through all of the years of the inflation adjusted launch prices of the PlayStations, and the PlayStation 3 was the highest on the list at 778 inflated
The
adjusted
PS3
price.
was ridiculous. That's why it was
Yes.
the worst generation that
Wait,
they
is-
came out
wait,
with.
but
is
now
that-
but he put the PS5 Pro in there, but he did not include the disc drive. So he did the $700
Yeah.
price point without the.
Of course he didn't.
Technically, yeah, of course he didn't, right? So he of course. That's a $780 price point for a PlayStation Pro for the
Do you
full
have a link to
package.
his
So,
tweet?
I did
I
the
do right
math
here.
to it.
And here
for
it is.
me,
It's like
and-
830, right?
Put it in the show notes.
it's 830
dumbass.
something. I think it's like 836.
I thought you had that open. Hold on.
Of course
it's
he
up-
did though. Let's like it's Jeff Keighley,
It's at
man.
the top,
like,
Sin.
that man will champion PlayStation
yeah.
till the end of his fucking days, bro.
Bro, I know. Seriously, dude.
Uh,
There's even a note at the bottom saying, "Yeah, well, you didn't add in the."
well, yeah, he
disk
got
drive.
he got communities noted, didn't
Community
he?
noted.
On
Yeah, he
Twitter,
did.
and on top of that, he got community noted for it, and then he reposted it to get rid of the community.
I love one of the
Oh, it's there- it's
post
there
replies
again.
here is that hey buddy, the PS3 had a PS1, a PS2, a DVD player,
Yeah.
a Blu-ray player, and a PS3 all in one. Go fuck yourself. I'm like,
Yes.
I mean,
That's
not
hilarious.
wrong. Not wrong. That was the PS3 was the last generation that had full hardware backwards compatibility.
Yep.
It's crazy, man.
I don't know. This is I don't, and the fact that like this is the narrative that is coming out right now around this is that the PS5 Pro at $700 is because of a lack of competition that made it easier
Well-
for an easier decision for Sony to run with. a
I
higher
mean,
Yeah, so-
it's not entirely wrong though.
It's not entirely wrong. It isn't, but at the same time, and this isn't from official sources. This is from some random guy, right? I think we.
I mean, it's on IGN. At this point.
It's from a
It's from like what's called
it's a gaming
An
well,
insider.
yeah
no
I don't know.
They
Talking
come
about
it
Ampere.
was an analyst.
analyst. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
okay.
Yeah. So it's coming. It's not coming from like the source in general, but
I'm
like he isn't
not
wrong.
saying-
He
but
isn't
it's
wrong.
still-
I'm not stating that he's not wrong. Like if Xbox had been doing better they would have had competition. But at the same time, that's a wild statement to be like, the reason why the PlayStation 5 Pro is so expensive is because of Xbox.
You know what?
Yeah,
Like-
that's crazy.
We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about the state of the world or whatever else, pretty much at all. But here's what I'll say: like right now, I don't care who you are, the state of the fucking economy across the entire world is fucking through the roof. And to have, I don't give a damn whether you're an analyst or whatever else, to come out with a brain dead fucking ignorant ass comment that states that basically puts the blame on essentially the consumer, because what you're saying, like, yeah, I get it, saying the lack of competition, which is again the sure, Microsoft, you're playing with Microsoft, but at the end of the day, you're also saying, hey, if you guys would go out and buy more fucking Xboxes or buy more more other systems, then it would drive the competition for these companies to do. Go fuck yourself, man. Like, go absolutely tone deaf fuck yourself, because this is ridiculous to sit here and say, like, hey, to try to warrant this price point at any level is asinine for what they did. Like, they should be raking Sony over the fucking coals for this. And
They're not going to.
and I just am blown away that this is kind of like a, and I'm not
I think
saying
the only reason that they're not is because this is the accessory console. This is like the middle ground console generation console. If this was the PS6 launching at this kind of a price point,
Yeah, but
and
you
whatnot,
can't tell me that this releasing, the PlayStation 5 Pro releasing at $700 or $699, right? You can't tell me that the PlayStation 6 isn't going to mimic that price tag.
I don't think it will.
If this is
I
successful,
don't know.
I bet it.
I don't think it will, simply because they had that learning lesson
I
with
mean-
PS3
I mean,
generation.
look at the PS5, the PS4 to the PS5. The PS4 Pro was 522. The PS5 was 606.
Where are you seeing that?
That's the,
The
inflation.
That's
the
Jeff
thing
Keighley
that's
tweet.
scruffy.
That's
Is
the
that
Keighley
inflation
tweet.
due
That's
to?
inflation
Is that
adjusted,
inflation
yeah.
right now? Okay.
That's,
yeah, that's
yeah.
that's,
Well, I
that's
did not
current
know that.
inflation adjusted.
Either way, the PS5, the PS4
I don't
was
think it will.
was $499. Well, look, the PS5 was $399. The PS4 was $399. The PS4 Pro was $399. The PS5 was $500. Right? Like, that was that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Like, it ain't going down. Like,
I don't think
There's-
it'll go
there's-
down,
there's-
but I don't
There's no
think
way
they're gonna.
they're gonna
I
charge
don't
the
think
same amount.
700 is going to be the new standard for
I-
console, and I could be
I
wrong
don't know,
moving forward
man.
with it. But I feel like after the $600 PS3 generation, they realized, oh shit, we can't mainline launch a new generation of console at that price point. To be perfectly honest with you,
Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. You don't think that them having no competition, again, it's been stated right there. Granted, it's not PlayStation saying
well,
it,
no
but
competition.
them
as
having
in
no
there's-
competition, and we already know that Xbox has no intention of moving forward in the console war, right? So really, the only people that PlayStation is going up against is what? Nintendo.
Nintendo.
And Nintendo
bar-
doesn't
barely.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't give a fuck. They do their own thing, right? They're on their own side. It's,
It'll,
you
it'll
can't-
just be
you-
both
you
of them
don't
doing
think
their own
that-
thing.
you don't think that X or the Sony is just going to be like, oh, we can charge whatever the fuck we want to. People will buy it.
well,
I think to a
I
point,
feel-
but yeah, no.
I feel like you're also like Xbox isn't out of the console manufacturing. There's going to be another Xbox next.
I didn't say they were out of the. They've already stated that they're out of the console war, though. They don't care about the consoles. They really don't give a shit. If it makes
but
them money,
but they
that's
still
fine.
need to push the hardware that's going to be able to play third-party games, and that's the biggest thing.
Not really, because they're pushing the ability to play their games on anything. So like, yeah,
Right.
they will
But-
have hardware, but they're not going to push it as hard as
They,
they have. been in
haven't
the
stated that
past.
they're not coming out with another console in the next generation, though,
I,
have they?
I never
I
said
don't
that. Yeah.
No.
No, I know. I'm asking. I don't think they have. So
No.
to be
All
fair,
I'm
they're
trying
not
to say is
They've
if
totally
the-
out. Yeah,
If the tech's not able to play third-party games, they're going to get passed up like they're currently getting passed up with this console generation on third-party games.
right with the Xbox.
Is all I was
Series
trying
X.
to say.
Yeah,
Well, I think
Yeah.
I
No,
think
yeah,
they'll just,
I'm
they'll-
not arguing about that. Yeah.
Well, look,
As far as competition goes, they don't have competition currently because Xbox hasn't released a middle generation console alongside it like they usually do.
And I don't think they intend to. That's
And they
the
don't
biggest thing. Like, I
and they don't
really-
intend
yeah.
to. But during the next console jump, the next generation jump, PlayStation will have direct competition, most likely from Xbox, with that again. Therefore, I can't see them
We'll see.
pushing this price point.
do you think? Do you
I-
think in do you think Xbox will then jump price hike up as well, or do you don't?
I
To
don't
match Sony, or
I
do you
don't
think
know.
they'll both?
I would say
Xbox,
old
stay
old
around
Xbox and
Xbox.
Sony
700.
both look across the aisle, see what the other can get away with, and then kind of mimic it.
Yeah,
So
I mean, old Xbox, I would say no. Current Xbox, I would say fuck. I don't even know if maybe they're like 700. Fuck
Yeah.
it, make it 800. Like
Yeah, maybe.
I don't.
I-
you know,
It's
and
really
to
dicey
to be
right now.
to be completely honest, I'm not entirely sure about that either because Xbox hasn't fully integrated the new $70 price tag for their games, and that's been out for a long time. So I don't know about that. I'm not entirely
Yep.
sure.
They have.
Not across.
They're
the
not
board,
doing it
they
as
haven't.
consistently as
Yeah.
what Sony
That's,
is,
that's
but
what, that's what I
they
said.
are.
Not across the board.
First party or
I mean,
third party
Sony's not
Xbox
doing it across
titles?
the board either. They just released Astrobot at $60.
I mean, if they would have released Astrobot at 70, I don't know. Okay.
It's still not across the board.
True,
It's a pick and choose
true.
type thing
It
with
is.
both consoles. Sony just tends to push the $70 more often, but they're still doing it.
we can squash all this at $700 fucking dollars for about. And let's add in the goddamn disk drive, right? Let's just add the disk drive into it.
So 836.
So $836 with tax. Let's call it a cool.
No,
almost,
that's with tax.
oh, that's with tax. Is
Yeah.
$836? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So US based $836, right? I'm gonna tell
For
you
where
right
I
now.
live, yes.
I'm gonna tell you
Correct, yeah.
right now for that, you're about $50 to maybe $100 shy of me
You're
building
like
you
200.
building you
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
PC rig that can do everything that system does and more. And it's not going to cost you to fucking have PlayStation Game Pass Plus, whatever the fuck.
Other
it is.
than,
Except play
other than
PlayStation
peripherals
console
and shit, but yeah,
exclusives. You're not gonna
Yeah.
be able to do that.
I mean, how many
Yeah.
the exclusives are coming to PC? Like, come on, like let's
Slowly.
call it
Sure.
what it is. Like, I'm just
Slowly.
saying, are you going to
Slowly. Yeah.
Sure. and this is marketed. This can't, like, I heard this directly come. Well, okay, I heard this from one of the podcasts that I listened to, who quoted one of the Sony team saying that our target is not new PlayStation owners. It is the people that already own PlayStation that are going to go and trade this in and get the newest edition, right?
Right.
That was Mike Ybarra that said that. That was fucking.
Well,
that was
this is
the
he didn't quote
ex-CEO.
Mike Ybarra. He was quoting somebody from inside of PlayStation. Why would you ever need to do that with this rig? I don't know. Please don't encourage
But
this fucking
it's
behavior.
because it's a luxury item. It's the same reason that they charge $200 for the
I fucking
handheld
hate
remote
that.
play device.
Portal. Oh yeah.
It's a
I
luxury item.
I fucking hate that. There was a dude on Twitter today that was this is a luxury item. So if you're not capable and or want to buy the luxury item, this is not for you. I was like, that is the worst fucking argument in the world.
I mean, yeah, I'm with you that it's not a good argument, but it's the reality of the situation. It is a luxury item. If you don't want it, or like whatever the reason is, that's fine. I don't fucking want it, so I'm not going to end up getting it. I'm fine with my standard PS5 at whatever I bought it for.
You're getting a better deal with your standard PS5.
Until the next gen consoles come out at the same price, then that argument I think is
Yeah.
to be made.
I've never bought a pro generation for PlayStation. I've bought PlayStation since the PS4.
half
now,
steps
so.
aren't fucking worth it. Period.
No, I
No, yeah,
personally don't feel like the
agreed.
half steps are worth it.
They're
And
just
most
cash.
developers, unless it's a first party Sony title, aren't going to be developing with the
the pro in mind
Pro
or
in
anything
mind,
like that.
which
Yeah.
is why they added the AI upscaler, because it's a band-aid fix to make the games function at the console's capacity is the only thing I can think of with it. So
Yeah.
it's a luxury item. It's a shitty luxury item, just like the handheld was. So
Well, look, all of this.
if you have the
is-
disposable income, I guess.
Thank you for checking out the patch notes. If you enjoyed this small selection from our podcast, come join us every Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern for the full unfiltered pre-patch podcast. And check out our past shows on anchor.fm/prepatch podcast.